Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Train Simulator Classic, aka Railworks. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Victory Works LNER J21 060. This pack is available through Steam Sound Supreme, so definitely go check it out. I believe they have a sale still going on. It's 40% off or something like that, but that's when I picked it up. This is not available through Steam. This is a Steam Sound Supreme exclusive, I believe. I believe that's the only place you can get it, so naturally link in the description. But this is our subject for today. A real neat little 060, or fairly early 060 for the LNER. As well as some Celestry. Yeah, I'm having a time. Celestry cars. Some new coaches. I'll get the word out. Some new coaches. But it's a real neat little locomotive, and typically, as is pretty common with most of Victory Works models, they're really quite nice locomotives. So I've already played around with them a little bit. I just haven't had the time to make a video. I've been trashed busy lately, but these are really neat little locomotives. They're a lot of fun. They're advanced models. However, there's a advanced or simple mode that you can swap between, but they are standard as advanced locomotives. So you do have to know how to fire them a little bit. You do have to know how to operate them. So you probably should read the manual before trying to take off in one. And we are going to go through a little bit of the manual today, in large part because, as is very typical with Victory Works models, these things have a ton of different things that you can change, customize, and modify in the scenario editors whenever you place these. And that goes for all the liveries, so it's not just the NER green that we have right here in front of us. There is also NER black in both lined and unlined. We have a lined version here, and then there's LNER black in various different years. There's British Rail black in various different rail years, as well as a worn variant. And of course the coaches, which we'll go over in due time. So historically, I'd be a liar if I said I did a whole ton of research. I believe these were built in the late 1880s, mid to late 1880s. A total of 200 and some odd locomotives were built. Some are simple and some are compound locomotives. That is an option that you can change in the scenario editor. Again, one of those things we'll go over later, but some came as simple, some came as compound locomotives. They are, as clearly can be seen, inside cylinder models. I believe they were built as freight locomotives. Not to say that they don't do general purpose, but I do believe these were built as freight locomotives. Went through a couple different designations. I do believe they were originally designed for the Northeastern Railway, the NER, and then were acquired by the LNER, which then in turn ended up with British Rail. But built in the late 1880s, and all ended up retired and scrapped, except for one. I do remember reading there is one singular example that survives, and there is a variant of that example that is included in the pack. I did not place it down because it's not wildly different from what you see right here. So, anywho, if you want to know more about the history, you can look it up yourself. But let's dive more into the pack. That's what we're all here for. So, I am going to go ahead and go into the world editor, because while I don't do this on all of the Victory Works models, these are definitely one that we should. So, let's hop on down here. We'll eeny meeny pick one. But you double click on the locomotive after it's been placed down, and you'll get this little flyout. And you get a very long number here, to which you can modify all sorts of different things. So, for example, let me find my notepad here real quick for the NER specific. So, for the NER specific model here, which we're on right now, your first 4 digits are the locomotive number, so 1572, which is what we have here. And then position 5 is your boiler type, saturated or compound. Ours is compound. Our valve types, which is piston or slide valve. Ours is a slide valve. Chimney type, which is original or GNR, which ours is currently original. Actually, since this is an NER model, we'll just go ahead and change that for giggles and squiggles. So let's change that to G. Next position is the logo, whether or not it has a logo built on it, which ours does. Next we have lettering on tender. And engine is 8. Are we still on it? 8. Logo L or N. Lettering on tender, N on engine and tender. So ours is a L, so we only have lettering on the tender. Okay. I got a little confused, but next position 9 shows the lining. So we have yes, which will be all these little black stripes for this particular model. For other locomotives, it'll be like the red stripes, but ours is showing. Next, we have steam engine, a steam or engine brake. Ours is fitted, so something we'll go over later in the video. These do have 2 different types of braking systems. But next we have heating, which is no on this one. You can yes or no. Mechanical lubricator, no, or no inside frame or outside frame. So we have no. I believe, yeah. You know what, we'll change that to a yes, because why not? See if it adds a external mechanical lubricator. A smoke box lubricator. Smoke box lubricator, that one. Mechanical lubricator. Oh, whoops. So we want to have lubricators, because why not? Smoke box mechanical, smoke box door handle, which is a wheel or a handle. We have a wheel. Cab side plate. No, large or small. Ours is the large. Splasher number plate, yes or no. Ours is yes. The little dot on the center driver. This is injectors in the boiler or the cab. Ours is boiler. Whistle B for whistle both, which is roof. H for hooter, which is both and roof. S for single, which is roof. And F for front of cab sheet. So ours are on the roof. We have two different whistles. You can change whether or not you have one or two. A lot of these locomotives are fitted with secondary whistles to let the guards know to release the brakes or close the doors, whatnot. So this model does have both. Safeties: bonnet, dome, or firebox, direct mounting. Ours is on the bonnet. Signal repeater, yes or no. And the head code, letter of the code class, optional. So that is all the different options that you can play with just on the NER variant. No, a lot of these options are also present on the other locomotives. There are some that do and don't change depending on the year model that you use. So as we pop this out over here, we do get a long list of British Rail variants for different years: 1948 through 50, superheated and saturated, 50 through 56, all the way down. I don't have them placed because these will absolutely give me an out-of-memory error if I go any further. So unfortunately we don't get to place them all, but we get to play around with them. So now that I've shown you guys all the fun, the bells, the whistles, and stuff that you can play around with, let's actually physically get up close to it. So we're going to start down here because it's a little quieter down here. And we'll start with the old, worn, and weathered variant, because why not? Oh, goodness. Now, up close, these are pretty darn good looking locomotives. As everybody knows, I very much appreciate my 3D rivets. They make me very happy. I love seeing some 3D rivets. The weathering job, it's alright. It makes the rivets kind of stand out, things like that. I say it in a lot of my videos, I'm not a huge fan of weathering in train sim. It never really looks right. But overall, it is a good looking model, good looking locomotive. And then the clean variant. Clean variant looks really good. Really good looking locomotive. The valve gear and cylinders are modeled inside the frame. It's not the easiest to see, as you guys can tell. It's very hard to see it, but it is still there for the parts that you can see. Overall, very nice texturing. But I absolutely love the amount of detail they put in it. The exhaust smoke, the idle smoke's kind of meh. It's definitely cotton balls. It looks like cotton balls. The little puffs that spread out into individual cotton balls is just kind of silly looking, but oh well. Truth be told, the smaller stuff looks a lot more believable. And even that, as you can very clearly tell, turns into cotton balls up close. Tender varieties. Tenders will change. That's something else I completely forgot. As with the locomotives, if you double click on the tenders, you'll get a flyout with a long list of different things that you can change, such as the coal box height as you can see on the LNER model here, it's very different, very much taller than the British Rail model here. It's one of those things that you can play around with. Lots and lots of different things that you can play around with on these to suit one's purposes. So, actually, I really like this black with the red lining. I think this is really clean looking. But we're going to use the green for our operating, because the green really makes a lot of the other details pop out for what might move, what might not, stuff of that nature. I am kind of surprised that I didn't get much variety with the whistles. Here's one. One of those details. Whistle mounted up front here instead of on top. Safeties mounted down on the boiler rather than up in a dome like this, or what do they call it, a bonnet. Various things. And then of course the rolling stock. It is always nice to get some actual new rolling stock with our locomotives, stock to actually go with the locomotives and match the locomotive. I love that. It makes me very happy. And overall, they do look pretty good. The texturing can kind of make certain things pop out in a weird way whenever the sun hits it, because the sun will hit it at a weird angle compared to the rest of the car. But I don't know that that's necessarily a VictoryWorks problem. That might just be a mix of VC's texturing as well as the AP weather pack. Don't know. But the cars look really good. You only get two, so you'll get a combination car as well as a brake car. The combo cars are first and third, with first kind of here in the center and third class on either end. And then the combo car, which has got, or the brake car, which has got the baggage and luggage compartment as well as a guard and brake area in the back, and then some third class seating up in the front of it. Really cool looking early cars though. These do not have corridors. These little compartments are all individually cordoned off. The lettering and the lining look pretty good. The lettering's a little bit blurry whenever you get up close to it. The lining looks a lot better, but this is cool. Now the logo, the decal is a little bit low res, especially when you get up close to it, but it's still really cool. This is that kind of etched glass, that frosted etched glass. Just looks really, really neat. That logo looks really good. NER logo. And they have a lot of nice detail to them overall. And of course you have the kind of brownish teak coloring going on here. I believe this is the BR era cars. Again, pretty much the same car, just a different paint scheme. They still look pretty good. Pretty good. I just like this crimson color better. It's really sets apart the lettering or whatnot. So as I said at the beginning, this is an advanced locomotive. You do get the option to turn the advanced mode on or off, depending on your comfort level of operating a steam locomotive. I will be running in advanced mode. Control 1, 2, 3, 4. All change your headlights so that you can set them up for different headlight codes. So like right now we have head code C for parcels, perishables, such. The train is fully fitted. And this is a single for if it was a light engine. Through mineral. Express passenger stopping passenger, and then the H key will change it to the light being on or a reverse light. I don't know what the issue is, where sometimes they'll light up and sometimes they won't. So like that, now it's red. If you hold Shift H, it'll go through, but that one's white. Turns it off. Red, off. Shift, turns it on. Excellent looking model overall. Really, really like it. Even the plate here. It's a 3D object. It is a 2D texture placed inside. It's a little bit but it's not that bad. Lettering is a little bit blurry if you get up close. Same on the LNER. And same for the British Rail. It's a little blurry. It's not too bad. It's not highly noticeable, but it is definitely a little bit blurry. It's definitely a little bit noticeable, but not wildly. Let's hop in the cab. So in the cab, we got our roof, a little roof hatch, which makes fun noises. Windows, porthole windows in the front, which they look a little bit thin. To me, they look a little thin. They look almost paper thin. I feel like they should be thicker. But what do I know? Here's that really cool in-cab signaling. I can't really explain how it works. It's definitely easier to read it in the manual because I already don't know a whole lot about British Rail, so I'd be a horrible person to try to explain how that thing works. But it is an option that you can turn on or off in the game, in the setup. Windows. Same for this side. Of course, our reverse gear. This does have a reverse lock. You will have to use the E key to unlock it. Firebox. Typical Victory Works setup for the firebox. So firebox, and then the shovel controls the rate of coal, and then the coals themselves will build up slightly and change color. Dampers, front, or that was the rear. Yeah, that was the rear. There should be a front over here. We'll swap sides in a second. Injectors. Of course, our throttle. This is our blower. Thought the front side damper was over here. Maybe I'm crazy. Cylinder cocks. Big levers front damper. Starting to get that white hot coal. Your firemen will get tired, so don't just leave them shoveling all the time. Injectors for the tender, handbrake. I don't think there's really much else. Sanders for the rear. Don't believe that there's a front sander. And then your steam brake, which it's kind of hard to see it, but it is hidden behind the reverse gear. So you do kind of got to play a little bit to get to it. And there's not a brake gauge, so you gotta kind of do it by ear. That's where having the HUD will help a little bit. They are vacuum brakes, so there is not a running position. So however much you pull back on the lever is how much it's going to brake, essentially. Now you can change that option to correspond to your desire. So you can have what is it? You can have steam brake or vacuum brake. You have the locomotive brake, and it'll add a little brake stand right here, which one of these might actually have it. Ah, there it is. I lied. This side. So your extra brake setup right here for if you have steam and vacuum brakes, because you can indeed have both. It'll place the rigging right there, and you will have to use the ejector as well as the brake handle for the steam brakes. So do bear that in mind if you try to operate them and get a little frustrated with them. Ah, there's the one I was looking for. And then a locomotive brake stand. If you want to have locomotive specific braking, it adds a locomotive brake stand right there. And really, that's it. It's a fairly simple locomotive. There's not a whole ton going on with it. So let's load up some passengers, which it does go through and open all the doors. It's pretty cool, including the baggage doors. It even has baggage in it, and it's even got people inside of them, which is quite nice. It's nice having a full train instead of an empty train. So we got our fire built up a little bit. Got our boiler going a little bit. Reverse for forward, brakes off. Handbrake. What happens if we open the throttle all the way? Nice little spark effect. Really nice chuff sounds. I do believe Steve Sound Supreme did the sounds for them, so pretty typical work from them. The sounds are awesome. Of course, spacebar for your regular whistle, which does have a little bit of a noticeable loop to it. You kind of hear that wah ba 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 ba. But it's not too bad. It's not too terribly noticeable, especially over the chuff sounds. And then, of course, the B key for your guard's whistle. Guard's whistle has a much more noticeable loop. But, again, not too bad. In advanced mode, you will have to kind of play around with your dampers to get the perfect combination. I believe it's all the way up for the rear, and you want the rear all the way open and the front just cracked. Could be mistaken, I could have that backwards. Well, we're doing pretty good as it is right now, so we'll stick with it. Control space will play whistle tunes. Just plays them at random. I don't believe we're going too fast to go through here. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe we are. Nah, we're fine. No speedometers, you can see. You gotta kind of play it by ear. According to the speed limit, we're definitely going too fast. That's fine. Nice little bit of idle sound. Smoke is pretty typical Victory Works smoke. It's alright. It's definitely not my favorite. It really looks like unprocessed cotton. There's all the cotton seeds. Like, it's not my favorite. We're going downhill, so I'm gonna pick up speed pretty good, which is fine because we want to open that up and build your fire up. Injector sounds are pretty typical of Victory Works. You do have to play with the injectors to get them to work at max efficiency to fill your boiler up. Various cab views. Pretty nice while you hot fire. I think we can get a requirement of brake. See all the valve gear going to work. Very nicely running, very nicely smooth locomotives. That sounds just absolutely awesome. I love the sound. Oh, I didn't see if the coaches have a passenger view. No, no passenger view for the coaches, unfortunately. Again, the camera view kind of places the reverse gear and the brake right square on top of each other. The braking is nice though. No immediate weird halting. And very nice brake sounds. I like it. And that about covers it. The LNER J21 from Victory Works, available from Steam Sound Supreme. I definitely recommend checking it out. It is very, very nice. I've had a lot of fun with it. I've been playing with it for the last couple days now, and I've enjoyed it a lot. It's a very nice pack. Locomotive runs very nice. It's a real joy to run. It's not too complicated, but it's complicated enough that it doesn't feel like the old RSC days of just reverser forward, open the throttle, and gradually pull the reverser back, and that's it. So you do have to work at it a little bit, but not too much. It's a fairly simple locomotive to gather. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. As always, link in the description for where you can pick these up. And yeah, I will see you guys next time.